Welcome to this Hope to Go. Today I want to talk to you about mad about you. You know, so many times we have problems in our life, but we think that God is mad at us instead of mad about us, so we don't take them to Him. But I've learned over the years, you got to take it to the Lord in prayer. You know, contrary to some people's strange belief, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and the Lord of Glory did not leave his heavenly home, reach down, and save us from sin, death, and hell because he's mad at us, but because he's mad about us. But a gift is not yours until you accept it. I want to give you some mad about you truth. If you really need God to show up and you've got a problem in your life, if you've got an issue, admit that you have a problem. Now, Mark, the first chapter in the 40th verse, this is the Amplified Version, says this. And a leper came to him, begging him and falling on his knees before him, saying, if you are willing, you are able to make me clean. Now, the first major step to a turnaround and a breakthrough for you and I and for this leper is to recognize and admit we have a problem. Now, a problem is just a situation to learn by, so don't get hung up on the problem. This is what the leper says. You are able to make me clean. Notice that Jesus doesn't come to the leper comes to Jesus. Remember, it's significant that this was a violation of the rules and regulations of Levitical law concerning leprosy. Lepers were required to shout, unclean, unclean. They had to live whatever they were living with. And the first and major step to a turnaround and a breakthrough for you and I is to admit that we have a problem. Then you've got to take it and take your problem to the right place. Mark 1:40 again, it says, this is the Amplified, begging him and falling on his knees before him. Now, I'm not opposed to drug rehab or anger management or marriage counseling or stress reduction classes, but all these are just Band-Aids applied to the surface in and of themselves. They are not enough. They don't go deep enough. They deal with the fruit, but not the root. The only power that can change the root is the power of God. Now, this leper's words tell us three things. And it's A, he knows that he can't heal himself or he can't make himself clean. He probably has never even heard of a leper being cured, but this is what he's asking. He's begging him, the Bible says, and falling on his knees before him. On his knees is the right place in prayer. For years, he's lived absolutely helpless, and he knows it. But B, the leper has faith in Jesus. He says, you can make me clean. Again, the right place. He believes with all his heart that Jesus is the one person in the entire world who can cleanse him. And notice the leper does not just say, you can heal leprosy, but he says, you can do it for me. For me? Yeah, you got to personalize it. And see, there is a surrender to the will of God. This leper says, if you will, you can make me clean. He had no idea if Jesus was willing, but his request showed a certain level of spiritual awareness. No question he desperately wanted to be healed, yet he left it in the hands of Jesus. John 6:37, the Amplified says, all that my Father gives to me will come to me, and the one who comes to me, I will most certainly not cast out. I will never, never reject anyone who follows me. What a promise. The leper makes no demands, and in fact, he has no basis for his request other than the mercy of God and the goodness of God. But three, this is it. Take your problem to the right person. Mark 1:41a says, then Jesus, moved with compassion, stretched out his hand, touched him, and said to him, I am willing, be cleansed. You have to know where to go when you have a problem. Don't take your car to the dentist because the dentist can't fix it. And you don't ask the plumber to fix your teeth because you don't want even a janitor operating on your brain. They may all be nice people, they may be neighbors, but there's a right person for the right job. And you've got to go to the right person. Mark 1:41b says it this way. As soon as he took it to Jesus, he spoke the word, and immediately leprosy left him and he was cleansed. This is the big hope truth. The only problem that is unsolved, unfixable, and incurable is the one you will not admit to having. You got to turn it over to Jesus. He can work it out. He's mad about you. And that's your hope to go.